Hi everyone, Tammy here from SMJ Media Group. We are back today at the Login Lounge in Camberley and I have the lovely Chloe Ching here with me. Hello, Chloe.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. Now, I'll go straight into it. We have a lovely, and what this says, Miss... I can't
Miss
even... I was
Publicity.
going to say, I can't, it's my eyes today. Miss Publicity 2024. So it's Miss Great Britain Surrey. So we were saying that the differences between Miss Great Britain is for the country, but this is for the county.
Yes.
And to tell us about that.
Yeah, so I was approached by our regional director, Kirsty, on Instagram, and I was following last year's competition. So I saw all the girls, thought, oh, this seems like a really good opportunity. And I'm a girl all about an opportunity. And I thought, you know what, let's give this a go. I've never done a pageant before, so this is my first time ever doing one.
Wow.
And I just thought, let's just really go in there. Let's have fun, let's go for it. And I was working really hard for quite a few months, and I was really fortunate enough on the evening to win Miss Publicity, which was one of the side awards, which I was really excited about. So yeah, really, really good to represent Surrey.
So Kirsty, the regional manager, is this for Miss Great Britain, all the counties?
No, so she's just Miss Surrey and Miss London. So she does those two regional heats.
Yeah.
And then there are other ladies that do other regional heats. So there's like Kent, Essex, there's some
Yeah.
in Wales, Scotland, kind of everywhere.
Oh, amazing. And where do you do these pageants and what platforms do they go out on?
Yeah, so our venue, it was East Hampstead Park Hotel. So just down the road, really.
Yeah.
But each different region has a different location just based on where they are. So there was a hotel in Kent that the Kent girls did. But if you do win, so if you are Miss Surrey, Miss Hertfordshire, wherever you are, you would then go to the national final in October, which is a bit up north. So all the girls that win would go up there and compete there. But there's also different divisions. So you've got the Miss, you've got Ms, and then you've got Miss Classic. So
Oh my goodness.
There's different ones. There's so many different ones.
Yeah.
So I obviously went for Miss, but yeah.
So will you be there in October?
I hope so. I hope so, because I'd love to go and support Rosie, who was our winner.
So you're one of the finalists on this one. I said so, but to get through to the next one, you've got to. What will happen next for you to get there?
Yeah. So how it works on the day? So I believe there were 28 finalists for the Miss category. There was about 15 for the Ms. And then you compete on the night. So you have your different rounds. So you have your interview round, your swimwear, your opening number. Then we had little black dress, and then we had evening gowns. So you get scored based on all of these rounds.
And you have an amazing outfit. I mean, seriously, you've got to see this. And what was it? Vinted.
Vinted. £2.50 on Vinted, guys.
Seriously, it's amazing. Everyone keeps telling me to get on that.
Yeah, thanks, guys. So yeah, you do all these rounds and you get points based on the judging panel. And then from there, they get all added up.
Yeah.
And then on the night, you go back in, you do your final parade, and then you have your side awards. So there are a few different side awards, so one being Miss Publicity. And then there were like the Charity Award, and there was like the Lucy Rayner Foundation Award. So they had all different awards.
Yeah.
And there's 7 in total, and I believe 6 girls won them. 1 girl won 2, so I was like, good for her. And then from there, you get your top 10.
Yeah.
So your top 10 then get announced. So that was brilliant. I unfortunately didn't make top 10, but that's okay because I was quite happy with my Miss Publicity.
Especially as you said, this is your first time doing this.
This is it.
Wow.
This is it. So I was really grateful that I won a side award as a newbie. It's kind of unheard of. Like generally, if you're a newbie in this world, you kind of won't get somewhere. So I was like really kind of grateful that
it might be next year or the year after, but just a little.
And I mean, the current Miss Great Britain took her 5 years to compete and then finally win the Miss Great Britain. So she was so resilient in it.
Yeah.
And then the current Ms, she had a 5-year gap, did loads of pageantries when she was younger, and then she did it again and then won it. So it's all about how you are as a person, definitely.
Yeah.
So I was quite proactive in myself, knowing who I was as a woman, knowing my brand, my non-profit. So that was really helpful for me. And then from the top 10, you get down to top 5, and those top 5 girls then do an onstage question to the judges. Those then get added up as a score. And then they go from there and they announce who the winner was and things like that.
Oh, fantastic. And you mentioned about charities, actually. So that's going to bring me to my next thing about you're the founder of Head Start campaign and a cancer research ambassador.
Yeah.
So I'll start with the Head Start campaign. Can you explain what that's about, please?
Yeah, so last year, unfortunately, I got diagnosed with something called post-concussive syndrome. So I unfortunately hit my head on a wall and I was really concussed severely. And there are certain times that if you have concussion, your symptoms will last a lot longer than the usual individual, just based on your neurological ways. So unfortunately, I'm 11 months post-injury and I still do get symptoms of concussion here and there. So like dizziness, headaches, nausea, things like that. Yeah. And I never heard of post-concussive syndrome. I was like, what is this? Never heard of it. And it's, to be honest, I reckon there are so many people walking around in this country who have PCS and do not know they have it.
Yeah.
And I found that diagnosis out by going to the hospital. Like, it wasn't through my GP. My GP just said, oh, you've got a headache. And I'm thinking, no, something doesn't feel right to me.
Yeah.
So it wasn't until I actually went to the hospital and they were like, yeah, you've got post-concussive syndrome. And I was like, I really want to use my voice and Miss Great Britain as a platform to go and raise awareness of what head and brain injuries are, as well as post-concussive syndrome. So I set up this on my non-profit, Head Start, for that awareness.
You've got a fantastic Instagram page. I saw some of that, and it's quite detailed, as well as, you know, explaining it very good. And I imagine it's already helping people to get an understanding and a place to go. And I hit my head. I didn't realise I'm feeling that.
Yeah, literally, because even when I set it up, I've had so many conversations with different people who said that they've lost friends to concussion, because sometimes when you have concussion, you might have certain symptoms that go on. So some people get depressed because of particular parts they hit their head, and some people just can't cope with the personality changes, things like that. So I've met so many different people and spoken to so many different people, and I was really fortunate enough to speak with some people from a charity, and that charity was really helpful for me. And I thought, well, if I can then do something from knowing of what I did with that charity, and then brilliant, that's great for me. And just sort of using that platform, like you were saying, it's very detailed. So I've gone into things about like just positivity, because I think when you do have an injury like that, it is very different, because you do feel quite negative. You don't feel like yourself.
Yeah.
And I definitely for about 3 months did not feel like me. I had zero control of my body.
Is it permanent, or is it something, or you just don't know?
It's dependent on the individual. So I'm 11 months post-injury. I probably think it's going to be there forever, just because I'm hitting my year mark in August. So I reckon it will always be there. It's just about ways of which I can deal with it through different therapies and things like that. So that will be sort of my story. Some people within 9 months, great, cool, brilliant. But once you do have PCS, if you hit your head again, you're going to then continue to have this cycle. So you have to be really careful. Like, there's certain things I just can't do anymore. So that level of adjustment was a bit like, oh, okay. So I really enjoyed rock climbing. I can't really do that right now.
The dizzy spells and things like, you've got to be careful, haven't you?
Yeah, so I've got to wait to be signed off for that. And for a while, I was told I could only drive a certain level of distance. I wasn't allowed to do long journeys. I can only drive a certain amount of time at night time because of the bright lights of other people's cars. So for me, one of my triggers is blue light. So on my phone, laptops, I have dark mode. So all the blue light gets knocked out. I've just ordered some glasses that I can wear when watching the TV and things like that. So I can wear those glasses.
You're really having to make some adjustments, but it helps.
It does, because I feel like I'm that person that I could have just been really like negative about it, or I could have been really positive and go, okay, what can I do? And I'm quite a positive person. So I wanted to adjust the best way I could, but still have fun with life, because I am only 26. So
we'll get Jack to link, 'cause you've got a couple of Instagram pages, haven't you, for different things. So obviously you've got Chloe_Ching 4, the number 4, and that is that for the Miss Pageant, or just a mixture of things?
Personal.
That's your
personal account. Yeah.
And then you've obviously got the Head Start campaign and Cancer Research Ambassador. Yeah. Tell us about that.
So unfortunately, this year, my auntie, she did pass away from pancreatic cancer. So I used my fundraising this year as an opportunity to honour her memory. Yeah. And Miss Great Britain is a representation of, well, they work with cancer research quite closely. And I was having lovely chats with this lady called Andrea, and she got me into the ambassador programme, because I think when you do have someone that unfortunately is affected by cancer, it not only affects that person, it affects the people around them. And it's so scary that 1 in 2 people now in the UK are going to face cancer at some point in their life. So how many people are in this room right now? That means half of us in this room are going to be affected by cancer at some point in our lives. Yeah. It's so scary. And without research, we're just not going to get anywhere. Like, I remember being at school and having my injection for cervical cancer. That would have not happened if cancer research wasn't there and people spoke about cervical cancer and things like that.
And it's still shocking how much you know, even with all the research, there's still so many cancers that aren't curable yet. But
Yeah.
I mean, so many. You go back 5 years, 10 years, how far it's all come. It's still making strides.
100%. Like even the cervical cancer one, like if you have the cervical cancer vaccine, your chances are now 90% of not getting cervical cancer, which is just amazing. That's brilliant. And like even as time's gone, I remember I had a massive needle when I was younger. Now they're so much smaller, they're more combined, they're less painful. So it's all these sort of things just through research, which are brilliant. So with that ambassador role, which I was really, really grateful to receive, I reached out to a local business in Camberley called Serenity Hair and Beauty.
Yes, I know that one.
Yeah, the lovely girls. And we hosted a evening of entertainment. So we had like pampering sessions, had a lady come down from cancer research to give a speech, we had a live auction on the night.
Amazing.
We raised £505 on the night for cancer
well
research.
done.
So that was amazing. And then I did my own sort of personal goal. So I walked 10 miles up Virginia Water. I did that in about 3.5 hours, which was brilliant. So that raised about £245. So in total, I've raised about £751 this year for cancer research.
It all helps. Every penny counts.
100%. Like even just speaking with so many people who are ambassadors, work at cancer research.
Yeah.
It was just like, oh wow, like even just that money is going to make so much difference, and just talking about it as well.
Yeah.
Because like, again, when I was talking about smears with people, it's like I know a lot of people that weren't getting their smears, and
It's still shocking how many people. I understand. It's scary. It is.
Yeah.
But it's so important. I mean, I don't mind sharing with you. I had CIN3 pre-cancer cell treatment. That wouldn't have happened if I hadn't had my smear. I wouldn't be here today. It would have progressed to cancer, and I would not be here today. So I will forever be grateful that service is there.
Absolutely.
And so I do get so anxious every time because I get scared about those results, because obviously there's always a risk of coming back, etc. And you know, but oh my god, I'm 100% so glad that I have had that,
because I've got CIN1. So, and again, I found that out purely from my smear.
Yeah.
And something I didn't realise until I got my smears, you can request a different size. So when you have the actual contraction, you can have a smaller size. So if you're feeling
Did not know that.
Yes, if you're feeling a bit uncomfortable with the larger size, and I knew that just because of the nurse. She looked at me, she goes, "You're very little, aren't you?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm quite little." She goes, "I'll give you the smaller size." I'm thinking, there's different sizes.
Yeah.
Okay, brilliant. So when I was going around talking about it, it's like, girls, you can request the smaller size if you feel like the bigger size might be uncomfortable for you. And I'm so glad you did, because it made it 10 times better, like the whole experience. All I say to people is 30 seconds of just a bit of discomfort is a game changer.
100%.
It's really nothing.
And I've got friends that have had the same treatment as me for different stages of that CIN. And again, they wouldn't be here today if we hadn't done it.
Yeah, and it's such an important, and even just like examining your breasts and things like that, the clock method, all that, it's so important. Like when I was, I must be about 16, I was just examining my breasts, and I realised I had a lump on the side, and thankfully it wasn't cancer, it was something else. But if I didn't check, I wouldn't have known.
And I get them round the cycle and everything. And sometimes it can happen, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Boyfriends are husbands and likes to check as well. They're good at checking.
Brilliant.
Oh, but thank you so much. Is there anything else you'd like to share with us? Or what we'll do is we'll get Jack to put those links in. Jack, have you got any questions? Are we all good? I think we covered it all, didn't we?
Brilliant. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much for coming. I think I would love to see you again when after you've done October, or just whatever happens there. Keep us updated, especially with Head Start and the cancer research. I'd love to hear more. Yeah,
hopefully as well I can do some more fundraising for Head Start. I'm in a conversation with a lady about doing our first fundraising for Head Start. So hopefully if that happens, I'll let you know.
Yeah, please do. Please do. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Hi, I'm Dee Shepherd from SMJ Media Group. If you like what we do and if you enjoyed what you heard today, then please do continue to support us. Support us in our conversations, in our events, in our communication, and how we publish and how we promote all local businesses. So, how do you do that? Well, you can buy me a coffee. Where? buymeacoffee.com/SMJ Media Group.